Hello, everyone. I'm certified natural healthcare practitioner Erin Thole, and today I'm very excited because we are going to be talking with Karla Wolf from Zinzino. And as most of you know, I've been working with Zinzino for about 4 years now, using the essential fatty acids test in my practice, which they call the balance test, and then also the balance oil. So today, Karla is going to be talking with us about that test, why it's so foundational to our health, and really getting the results that we want to with our health, why that's so helpful. And then the balance oil, why it's different from just your standard fish oil, and why it's, working so much better for so many people who have been taking fish oil for years and years and years and not getting anywhere, not feeling any different on it, not seeing any results, and things like that. So we're going to hear more about that, and then some of the other kind of foundational products that Zinzino has to offer. So thank you for being here, Karla.
Absolutely. So yeah, my name is Karla Nelson Wolf, and I grew up here in Minnesota, where Erin actually originates from. So,
That's right.
and then I went overseas to Denmark. I went through the St. Cloud State Exchange Program and was married to a Dane for over 31 years and had my 4 children over there. And my youngest was a kid who really lived in his own world. And somebody at one point recommended this test that I needed to take for him, because you can find out what your body is telling you in regards to nutrients. And that if you had a healthy cell, you would have a healthy body. And I thought, well, that's really interesting. I'm sure that what you're putting into your mouth makes a difference for your body. And I would want to know for my own son. And then I had 4 children, so I could maybe do my own little study and if there's any difference for them.
That's fun.
And actually, his test came back a lot different from the others, which already made me wonder about it. But yet, what I thought was interesting is whatever they recommended is what I gave him. And within like 14 days, we were just at our dinner table, and he was a different kid, Erin. He was like talkative and more present. And not only that, one of the things that was different is I always like made a plate of food for him that he would need to eat. And that day, not only is he talking to his siblings, he's taking second helpings. And I was like, okay, what's going on?
This is different. This is weird.
He was different, and I was not in doubt how different he was. But then I was thinking, okay, I'm just hoping that whatever this is really working, that, just skeptical. But then when it was about this test, I thought, well, I'm going to test him again. Now they recommend first testing 120 days later, because all of your cells renew in your body. The red blood cells take the longest. So 120 days, you can take a test and find out, is this really working?
Mm-hmm.
Well, patience is not the virtue I have. I'm mom, and it's about my son. So I took his second test already in 30 days. And that showed what changes had been made. And then I was sold. I'm like, okay, this test is like what everybody needs to do. And whatever these products really are, they're working. What are they? And then I started digging into what Zinzino was really about. And that's kind of how I got started, Erin.
That's awesome. I love this story about your son, and how other people started to notice, when he was going to friends' houses and stuff like that. And then you're like, okay, it's not just me. So I think that
actually, that's kind of funny, because he was 13 at the time. And so he had been best friends with the kid since kindergarten. And he was over at his best friend's house a lot, but he didn't like to eat other places. That was just one of his little quirks. So I would always come around dinner time and pick him up. And that day, when I came to pick him up right around dinner time, when I got there, the front door flew open. And remember, we're in Denmark, so his friend's name is Esmus. And Esmus' parents are standing in the doorway, and they're like, what'd you do to Christian? I was like, what happened? And they said, well, as usual, we were going to start eating. So we just said, come and eat. And usually the kids come down, but we heard a different voice going, coming. And down he comes down the stairs and ate with us. And not only ate with us, he talked. And it was like the Twilight Zone, Karla. He was talkative and asking questions. And so that's when I knew it wasn't just me. So yeah, it made a difference, and it was visible. Yeah. But Erin, no, I thought I would be healthy because I was American and I was living in Scandinavia and we were all so much more healthy. Yeah. But when I took my test, I was really far out of balance too. So getting myself into balance, you know, I've been doing this for over 10 years now. So now I can tell you, I know that my body is as healthy as it can be. I mean, we have a lot of issues in our family where we have a lot of sicknesses, a lot of problems and lifestyle diseases, but yet now I know that my body is working optimally because of the test. The test is what is the most important. And I think that's what's for everybody. A lot of people out there are like, well, there's so many products. There's so much out there. How do you know what you're taking is really working?
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
take a little prick of your finger and let your own blood tell you.
And let your blood tell you. Exactly. And I love that, so the test that we're talking about, is testing for all of your essential fatty acids, which, as the name implies, are essential. Your body's not going to make them. We're supposed to be able to get them primarily through food, but because of how our food supply is these days, like, that's pretty much impossible. Even if you eat fish every single day, there's all these other contributing factors from your diet and how food is made and processed, and just the topsoil isn't there and all these things. And so it's really, really hard to eat yourself into balance, especially if your foundation, meaning like from birth up till now, has been off. One of the highest tests that I've ever had is someone that is extremely meticulous about his health and what he puts into his body, owns a gym, all those other things, and is just like lives the healthy lifestyle to a T. However, prior to him becoming a health guru, he ate McDonald's all the time and just was like super unhealthy, and so you need to like really do something to change those numbers. And oftentimes that means having to take like a foundational supplement. So let's talk a little bit about the test in and of itself, and like what that actually means, like getting into balance, where this test is going, like all of that stuff.
So I think it's best to start with, your body's made up of a whole 100 trillion cells. So just like your car is a little machine, your car needs oil, gas, and to get rid of the exhaust. Your body's the same way. Doesn't matter if it's a brain cell, a skin cell, or red or white blood cell. And your cell membrane is protecting that. So that cell membrane is made up of fatty acids, those omegas. And your body's made to have the same amount of sixes as it has threes. So a 6:3 ratio of 1:1 is optimal. Mm-hmm. If you get over 3 times the amount of omega 6s per omega 3 in your body, that cell membrane gets stiff. Mm-hmm. So you're not going to get things through the membrane to let the machine work. And the worst part is you're not going to let the toxins out. Now, if it was your car, if you don't put oil in it, it's going to fall apart. If you don't get your gas in the car to help it to run, it's not going to go. If you don't get the exhaust out, then your car is going to try to sputter along, but it ain't going anywhere. So that's the same thing for your cell. You need to get vitamins, minerals, oils, everything that cell, that little machine needs, and it needs to get rid of the toxins. So that number is important. So what this test is telling you is a whole bunch of numbers. One of them is that omega 6-3 number.
Yep.
But it's doing a test of 11 fatty acids in your body because, as you know, Erin, but a lot of people didn't. I didn't know that before, that your brain is actually made up of over 60% fat, not just any fat, omega-3 fats.
Exactly. So, and your nervous system. Yeah.
And everything. Actually, your whole body. So you're going to find out about your mental strength. You're also going to find out the percentage of omega-3 in your body. You know that you're supposed to be at least 8%, preferably like 10 or 12%. So it'd be like cutting out the sugar of your cake recipe and seeing if it's going to turn out the same. Mm-hmm. Well, it's not. If you take out an ingredient of any recipe that's like 10% worth, it's not going to end up the same cake. Your body is the same thing. It's composed of this and it needs those omega-3. So you get that number from your test. So you're also getting, your arachidonic acid is telling you that because you need to find out if you're able to exchange your omega 6s to 3s in your body, if your body's working right. and you're going to find out how flexible that cell membrane is. So all of that comes out on that test.
Mhm.
Zinzino's tested almost a million. Well, actually, we just passed 1,000,000 tests, so it's not almost anymore. But it is 1,000,000 tests around the world. And of the people who have been tested, 97% of the world is failing the test. And here in the United States, it's 99%. But the
Shocker.
most, well, I guess most people probably wouldn't be surprised.
I'm not
That
surprised. That's sarcasm. I'm not surprised at all.
right. No, but it is. You're getting out of balance. But the best thing is that after the 120 days, when all of your cells have renewed, of everybody who's taken that second test now, we have 95% in balance. And we're not at people's houses checking, are you taking it every day? Are you taking the right dose? Because balance oil, it's dose, it's based on your weight. And we're still getting people into balance. So not only is this test showing here, what you're doing really isn't working, sorry, but we can actually give you something that's going to work. And that's the difference of this. People just say to me all the time, well, then we could just take an omega-3. But omega-3s don't really work. The reason this is different from anything else is that there's a big difference from fish oil to oily fish. If we're eating oily fish, and that's like the mackerel and the herring and the sardines, which a lot of people wouldn't want to eat every day. No, I don't want to eat every day. But just taking this one balance shot, I usually put a little bit of water in a shot glass. I put in my dose of balance oil and I take that. It just washes down easily. That's as simple as it is. It's like a under a 1 minute thing that you do every day that you're actually getting healthy from. So we're getting everybody. So it doesn't work like a fish oil. It's not just a fish oil. This works like fish.
Exactly. That is one of the most amazing things about it is so many people, when they start working with me, they're like, oh, I already take a fish oil. I'm like, well, let's test you and see if it's working. And they're never working. And so, I mean, people are blown away when they get the results and they're like, but I've been taking fish oil for 10 years, and that was my issue as well when I started with the testing and stuff like that. I was like, well,
so Erin, meaning you weren't in balance.
I was
mean,
not in balance.
Erin knows she's off.
And I was offended by the results. I like got them back because I was like, I've been taking like a really high quality, like high dose, fatty, essential fatty acid, omega, supplement for a long time. And I eat fish, I eat clean. Surely I will be in balance. And I came back at 9-1 for my omega-6s to omega-3s. And I was offended. I was like, no, that.
But people are like, and a lot of people will say, well, I was close. Well, no, it'd be like saying, if you're over 3, your cell isn't working right. Your cell is stiff. You're not getting things in. So it'd be almost like saying, well, I just have a little bit of cancer. It's okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Not okay. Not okay. Yeah. So when I started taking the balance oil, within 2 weeks, which I now realize for a lot of my clients, like 2 to 4 weeks tends to be kind of that sweet spot for a lot of people for like joint pain and things like that. And some other issues as well, like bigger issues. My knees like felt a million times better. And I had knee issues since I was 18. When I took that first test, I think I was 36, 37, something like that. So yeah, to go from having knee issues where I always felt like I needed like WD-40 in my joints before I squatted heavy or anything like that. And now it's like I have balance oil, which is kind of like WD-40 for my knees. So that's been fantastic. And I really like the fact that, and maybe you can speak a little bit more to this, that it's not just the fish oil that we've been talking about and how it's like eating fatty fish, but it has like that. What makes it great is that high polyphenol olive oil combination that's basically making sure that fish oil doesn't go rancid, because so many products are rancid before you even open the bottle.
Absolutely. And it's like, when you find fish in nature, it always has the polyphenols in it. So when they're taking fish oil and trying to get just the fish oil out, they're removing everything else. And we're just putting those polyphenols back. And that pre-harvested extra virgin olives have a really high polyphenol content, and that's what's working. And so you can take one of the products most people are taking our balance oil, but you can take it in capsule form. You can take it with what we call Aqua X, which actually has an emulsifier in it, so it dissolves in any liquid.
Mhm.
Or if you are a vegan, we have fish oil without the fish for you that is created in the bioreactors so that everybody can get into balance. But remember, Erin, I did say that the car needs oil, gas, and get rid of the exhaust. Well, your body does too. So getting into balance is actually just the first step. We still need to get the vitamins and minerals. And as you said, the soil doesn't have the same nutrients. So Zinzino has an incredible vitamin supplement to put all those vitamins and minerals back, get that gas in your car. And then the last thing I think is it's super important for your health. The microbiome. We've heard of the gut-brain connection. Those microbiome, you have good bacteria, you have bad bacteria in your gut. It's as simple as that. You need more of the good bacteria. We don't want this bad bacteria. But with everything in the environment or our medications, what we're eating, the stuff in our food that we're not going to talk about, but all that stuff is killing off a lot of that good bacteria. And so what Zinzino has done is came up with a prebiotic that has a whole bunch of different prebiotic fibers because there's different good bacteria in your gut in different areas. So it's actually like food for the good bacteria and it starves the bad bacteria. So that's how you're going to get that dysbiosis back to working the way it's supposed to and getting more put together. So by getting the gas in the car, the right oil in your car, and getting rid of the exhaust in your cells, that's what Zinzino calls our health protocol. Those three things, the health protocol. I would say we have one other great thing that we would add if people have a sleep, mood, or stress issue, and a lot of people do. They have it. Then we add a product called Viva. Viva means life, but you can, because a lot of people say this gives me my life back. And it's a saffron product that really goes in and kind of like a spa for the mind. It just can calm you and help you. So a lot of people add that. So either taking the health protocol, or if you have sleep, mood, or stress issues, taking the health protocol premium. I kind of consider this like a reset button for the health. You know how your computer sometimes gets stuck and you just push Control Alt Delete and it like resets it, and it's like, wow,
magic
this
and
magical. However, I don't even know what it does.
Whatever,
I have no whatever happens there, it's a reset. Yeah. But this is like a reset button for people's health and people who have been struggling with whatever issue. I mean, our bodies are made to heal themselves. So when you get the basis from the cells working the way they're supposed to, that's how you get a healthy body.
It's just yeah, exactly. And I think
it
really all starts with the balance test and the balance oil. And I talk to clients about that all the time, that like, this is foundational. Like nothing else that we do is going to work as well as it could if your cell membrane is a car tire. So we need to get that nice and soft and supple so that it can work the way that it's supposed to, so that you can actually integrate fully any other supplements that we're doing or medications that you're doing, if you're doing that, or just the nutrients from the food that you eat. Like they need to be able to get into the cells. So I see this whole, like the health protocol and especially the balance oil is like just foundational. You know, if you want to know 1-2 supplements that you should always be taking,
that would be my number one.
Especially since so many people go, well, I take a multivitamin. It's like, okay, well, can it get into your cells? Is it a good quality multivitamin? Is it, you know, like how's it produced? All of those things are super, super important. So yeah, this is a great place to start. And then do you want to talk a little bit about the test? Because I know that this is something that a lot of people are really, and myself included, when I first started with it, I was like, well, is this real? You know, and so just kind of knowing how it's tested, that it's double blind, you know, all of that stuff I think is really important for people.
It's you get a home test. You can do it right in your home. It's a little prick of the finger test. You drop a little bit of blood on a little felt paper, 2 little spots on it, package it up and send it off. Now in the United States, we're sending it to the main office who sends it to the lab 3 times a week. This company started in Scandinavia. It's where I was living all that time. And so we're still sending to the Vitas laboratory. Vitas is a world-renowned, known laboratory. If you look it up, vitas.no for Norway. And I mean, they work with Harvard University, Tufts University. They work with a lot of different places in the United States, but around the world. So they do all the test, and you're going to get back a report. Now on your test, there's a number. So it's not about your name or where, all that kind of thing, but you keep that number. Take a picture of it in case you lose it. Send that picture to us.
Send it to me. I need that number. Yes.
Yeah, so that she can look at your test. And it really gives you like a 19-page report. It takes maybe 2-3 weeks to get that test back. But once you get it, you can print it out. It's a long test that gives you also some recommendations of what you need to do for your body. Of course, it'll say we need to exercise and we need to eat healthy and stay away from omega-6s. But you're going to get all of that information that I said about your omega-6, your mental strength, your cell membrane, how flexible that is. You're going to get all about the arachidonic acid. You're going to hear about the percentage of omega-6 in your body. And then it's going to tell you about the total health. We have like out of 100%. Where are you starting? I'm telling you, most people are really low or even at 0. But again, the best thing about this is once you've taken that first test, if you order something that has the first test in it, you can get on a subscribe and save program. So you're saving 40%. And if you just stay on for that 4 month, in your 5th month, you'll get a free second test, because we want to prove to you that this is really working.
Yeah. And the lab doesn't know whether it's your first test, your 9th test, your 100th test. They don't know, because it's all done by that ID number. And so, yeah, it's pretty ironclad, and they don't keep any data results. They don't sell your information or any of that, crazy stuff.
Don't have to worry about any of that. Yeah, we don't.
They actually have
that's kind of an American thing. I don't think the foreign countries are doing a lot of that. So we can be rest assured. Although at some point, I do think we will have testing in the United States once we have enough people. It is so new here to the United States. So check it out. It's definitely what I think is one of the most important numbers you need to know for your health, because as simple as this: healthy cells, healthy body.
Exactly. Yeah, so I'll have the link in the notes below this video so that you can, go there and check it out. And then if anybody gets tested, when you get your test kit in the mail, just take a picture of that ID number, send it to me via email, which I'll also put in the notes with your contact information. Just email that over to me. And then once I get your results in, then I can email you back some of my notes on, recommendations, interpretation of the test. And at that time, if you wanted to do a free consultation or anything like that, we can do that as well. So all that information, everything that you'll need will be below this video. So thank you so much, Karla. I appreciate this and all this fantastic information, getting people in balance and really helping out at the foundational level.
That's what Zinzino is about: inspiring change in life and really the science behind it. So it is health-based, but science-backed. So check it out.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.